Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some old friends and two legends of the business. Cannonball, how are you?
Fantastic. My name's Bobby Ball.
And your name?
And I'm Tommy Cannon, and it's great. We're having a great time.
I was just telling you both, you were both very, very sweet to me at the beginning of my career when I started doing this job. And there you were in Panto, and you're still doing Panto today, and you're still selling out theatres. And now this new play, The Dressing Room. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, it's a new play. I wrote The Dressing Room, and I said to Tommy, look, I've wrote this. And then we said to my mates, Stu Francis and Johnny Casson, we're doing this play, do you want to do it? And they said, oh, yeah, so we've all just jumped in, and we're just having a good time with it, you know, so, yeah.
When did you know that it was worth putting on stage? Because it's all right writing something, but then you've got to actually know that it's funny and that people are going to want to watch it.
You never know anything's funny. You can do it in front of a mirror forever.
Is this your stomach or the drains, by the way?
It's the drains. It's the sink. It's the sink doing a wobbler. It's not my stomach. I apologise.
You could have problems on radio with noises like that, can't you?
No, unless you put it out in front of an audience, you don't know. And that's what happens. You write it, we all look at it and we like this, and you put it out in front of an audience. If they laugh and love it, we're on our way.
I was watching clips last night of you. You're at Viva in Blackpool, which is one of the greatest last clubs like they used to be, and there's a great atmosphere in there. It still seems like you both love it as much as you ever did.
Yeah, we do, and I'm glad we didn't. Yeah, we do, we just love it. It's an absolutely fantastic business to be in, and it keeps you young. So we're very, very lucky, me and Tom, really. We've been together 55 years this year, so we're doing all right, you know.
We're not doing bad, yeah.
The last time I saw you was on stage in Las Vegas. I just happened to be in town that week, which was one of the worst weeks, which we'll get to in a bit, but it was also magnificent to see all you guys back together.
All right.
And you nailed it that night, because it wasn't necessarily a given that it was going to work, was it?
No, it wasn't. We were a bit worried about it, but it did work for us, and we were very pleased. Was you there? Yeah. Oh, man, you should have come round.
I can't believe it. I don't believe you were there. Fantastic. Yeah, well, I mean, listen, we had a great time in Vegas. We really did. I mean, and what's being shown now, we're clueless as much as the audience sat at home watching, because we don't know what they're showing.
Yesterday I spoke to Jess Conrad about the show, and I think he's a bit worried that he's going to be portrayed as being a bit grumpy. It is an entertainment show. I mean, you've got to remember, with a sort of 4 or 5 hour long programme on ITV, they're making entertainment, not necessarily trying to show you off as a star.
I totally agree, but they'll not do anything, because I love Jess. Everybody says, oh, what's he about? But it's his act. He's just, you know what Jess is like. It's Jess. I love it. There was a story went round that he could have been married for years, Jess, and somebody went to his wife and said, what did you find attractive about Jess? And he said, well, she said, we're both in love with the same man.
But that's his act. He goes at himself on stage. He's really, really good. I remember playing in the Showbiz 11 with him. I forget where it was, a charity game, and he played goalkeeper, and everybody said, where's Jess? You know, he came out onto the pitch, full makeup, with a mirror in his top pocket of his shirt, and that's Jess.
I did enjoy it yesterday. I think we did a 26-minute interview, and I asked him 3 questions. He just did the rest himself.
Oh, he will do. I love him for that. I love Jess for that. He's fantastic.
When they asked you to do the Vegas programme, was there ever a doubt that they could be taking the piss out of you, or it could be some sort of parody? I mean, it doesn't look like it so far. There's always a risk, isn't there?
The thing is that when we were asked to do it, nobody told us anything about it. They said, listen, do you want to go to Vegas? Well, who doesn't want to go to Vegas in show business? And, you know, so I said, yeah, that'd be fantastic. But it's only as it goes on and you've signed it all up and you've done it all, and somebody says to you, like, you do know, don't you, that there's a reality team going out with you, and all of a sudden you go, oh, here we go. And yeah, and that's what it's about. It's half reality and half variety.
Right from the beginning, they were testing you, weren't they?
We all just, we loved it, me and Tom. And it was great to be there, because we're all pros, and all the others are all pros. We're not young people going in a reality show. We're all pros. We've been in the business for years, so we just have a laugh at it, you know, and don't we?
It was brilliant, yeah. We loved every minute of it. Loved every minute of it.
I think the other good thing is, if you're just yourself, which you guys are and have been your whole career, you've got nothing to fear. If you're an act that's trying to keep it up, you're going to quickly be caught out, aren't you?
Well, I always say to Tom, and I always say, and I put my fingers like that, and I say, I'm that far off leaving. And I do it as a joke. And everybody's saying to me, what do you mean when you're that far off leaving? I said, it's a joke.
You'd have already left if you wanted to go.
Exactly.
Do you know what I think is wonderful about you two as well? And I've interviewed so many legends over the years, is the fact that you both got your own identity individually and then you come together to keep the act fresh. And I think that's so important, isn't it? So you don't get on each other's tits.
Yeah, I suppose after 55 years, I mean, I don't know whether, everybody, I might as well mention it because most people say, oh, you fell out and did it. No, what happened was in the early 80s, we had a couple of years where we still worked together, we still did everything together, but at night time or whatever we were in London, he'd go one way, I went the other. That was as simple as it is. And 2 years after that, we made up and we were best of friends and still are. So out of 55 years, 2 years is not so bad. You know what I mean?
Well, if people look at a double act, it's like a marriage. So you tell me a marriage that never rose.
Right, especially for that long. They don't last half as long.
Exactly. So that's what it is, a marriage. Yes, that's what it is.
I wonder about some of the highlights of your life and career, because you've done everything. I mean, last week I was at the Ken Dodd funeral, and it was so sad to see all the legends there who were all paying tribute to this genius. I don't know how you felt about him, but I mean, there's never going to be another, is there?
No, Ken Dodd was Ken Dodd. He was a one-off. I couldn't go because I was doing television, but he was a one-off, Ken, and a nice man too, so... He
was a lovely man. Yeah, we met him. Do you remember when we were on the aeroplane and he was on the aeroplane with us, weren't he? Yeah. And he was such a laugh, such a character. We loved him.
I think what I love about this lineup for this show is you're all guys who have been around a long time, and it's almost like you've had the best days of show business. Yeah. It doesn't feel like the days of variety are ever going to come back the way they were.
No, it won't. But all of us are mates. That's the best thing. Yeah. Away from the stage, we're mates. So that's why it works. So. Very good, yeah.
I do believe that it will come back because everything comes back. At the moment, the 70s styles for women and men is all back. I'll tell you a story, right? My two girls, years back, when me and Bob were together, I wore flares, right? We went to Australia, didn't I? Remember, I had the flares I used to wear, and wheel tappers and shunters, I wore flares. And a few years later on, my daughter's come in and said, look at these, Dad, they're brand new, look. And I said, what are they? She said, they're flares. I said, they're brand new. I said, I wore them 10, 15 years ago. No, you didn't. And I showed them a picture of me and Bob. And I had these flares. You couldn't see my feet. The flares were that big. And they went, oh, I don't believe it. Everything comes round in time. It comes back again.
Do you think there's a hope that the Vegas show could end up touring in its own right? Because, I mean, you guys did probably 10, 15 minutes each in that show, but you could do half an hour. I mean, there's a good tour in that show.
They've actually asked us to do the tour. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to see whether they can fit it into scheduling.
We've got the dressing room going, so... Yeah.
Was it thrilling to have that live band behind you as well? I mean, it really was old Vegas. And that showroom, funny enough, the year before I saw a guy called Don Rickles, who you might know from America.
Don Rickles.
I mean, again, a legend. And he was failing at that point, really. He sort of needed his cues from his pianist. But even so, those showrooms have such history, don't they? It must have been thrilling to stand there.
I mean, the amount of people, stars that... I mean, I went to Vegas years back and I saw Frank Sinatra there. And I mean, he came on with his back to the audience. The comedian had just been on. And he came on with his back to the audience and everybody were going, who's that? Yeah. And all of a sudden he just turned around and he went, Chicago. Oh, place went up like a bomb. Oh.
We went in one place and the guy who had the place, like a restaurant, bar type place, and he took us to a little room at the side and he said, this is where Sinatra and Dean Martin and Sammy Davis used to sit and discuss. You could never go in the room because it was their room.
Right.
So they used to sit in there and have a drink and a meal, and we sat in that room with them. Where they were, like unbelievable, really.
Incredible.
I know you were really busy when you were there. Did you have time to have fun? Because I mean, Vegas is such fun, but I know you were filming sort of 22 hours a day.
Story, and we've got to be going in a minute, but I'll tell you the story. We went in a place you might know it called the Heart Attack Grill.
Yes.
Right, okay. Now, when you go in the Heart Attack Grill and they give you the beef burgers, if you don't eat all the beef burgers, there's two things, right? You either get up and sing to the restaurant or you get spanked. Right? I sang, Tommy got spanked. Am I right?
How much did you pay for that?
I didn't. It was the strangest thing because when I had the big thing, thinking to myself, yeah, come on, for a bit of fun, cameras are here, get the big burger. So I had the big burger, but nobody had told me that if I didn't eat it all, there was a forfeit. So I'm having a bit of fun. I said, well, I can't eat any more now of that. This girl come up, she said, have you finished? I said, well, I can't eat all that, love, you know. So she said, right. She said, and Bob didn't finish his. So she said, right, you've got a forfeit. go on the bar and sing karaoke, didn't you? So he went on that. She said, and now it's your turn. She said, because now I'm going to spank you. I said, sorry? I'm going to spank. And I thought it was
Not tapping.
No. I mean, she spanked my backside like you would not believe. And she did it 4 times or something.
Andy went back the next day after.
Well, you know what they say, what happens in Vegas ends up on ITV, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for talking to me. You're true legends. We look forward to seeing this. You can find out more. Just put Cannonball into Google and it comes up. The Dressing Room's on tour. I'm going to see it now. And I hope I like it, because if not, it'd be awfully awkward, won't it?
You will.
You will.
Thanks a lot.
Cannonball, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, sir.